Hello and welcome to an exclusive interview of the Bodyslams and Dropkicks podcast. And I have with me a man who, if I ever need a guest host on one of our podcast episodes, he'll be one of the first men I call. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is my huge honour and pleasure to introduce to you one half of the greatest tag teams in Impact history, Eddie Edwards.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here, and I'd love to step in and be a co-host anytime you need. You let me know.
Bless you, mate. Thank you very much. And the honour will always be mine, sir. So firstly, how are you? And how is Mrs. Edwards?
We're both doing good. We're home, getting ready for the weekend. Hard to Kill coming up. We're just trying to get prepared. We're obviously with the pandemic going on, things are a bit different at home, as you guys, as you know over there, unfortunately. But slowly getting back to quote unquote normal, life, but it's slowly going there. But we're looking forward to the weekend. We're looking forward to the Hard to Kill and rocking and rolling, man. That's what we do.
Yeah. So let's start off with a very young Eddie Edwards. Now, what made you want to be a professional wrestler?
For me, I was a fan as, a young, little wee toddler, of course, Hulk Hogan and Warrior and all those guys. But, I fell out of it. I kind of grew away from it with, I was doing basketball and baseball and, school and life and all this. I kind of fell out of it. And then my younger brother, actually, he got me back into wrestling around, in the Attitude Era. And, for some people, it's one thing, or it was one wrestler or one event that made them become a fan or made them want to become a wrestler. For me, it was the total package. It was the whole atmosphere of everything. It was the athleticism. It was the showmanship. It was the production. It was just wrestling as a whole. As soon as I saw it, it was just like, I need to do this. I was more than a fan at that point. I just needed to be involved, and I went out and found a way to get involved.
And I'm so glad you did, because every time I've watched, when you've come over to England and I've watched you live, it's been the greatest night, my greatest wrestling nights that I've ever had. And I'm being honest when I say that. I'm not just saying that because you're here. I genuinely have had my best nights when you've been performing.
Well, thank you, man. Anytime I'm in England, obviously I have a lot of history over there with, me and Davey, our first match as a tag team was in Wolverhampton, England. That was, that's where we got the name from. That's where we came up with the American Wolves, was because of that. So England always holds a special place in my heart. I spent a lot of time over there in 2008. I did, the Dixon Butlins camps and everything. So I've always enjoyed my time in England. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that, we're able to go back there soon.
So do I, mate. Hopefully we will. Give it a bit of time, but we will get there. Now, if my history is correct, you've been in Impact for nearly 6 years. And
That's it.
I suppose the question is, did you ever think in 6 years you'd have the career that you've had?
I don't know. For me, I do, I try to set goals one at a time. It was get to Impact Wrestling. That happened. Then it was, win the tag titles. Then it was win the X Division, win the World Championship. So I've kind of did change my goals as I'm able to accomplish them. But I've always been a fan of Impact and TNA back in the day. Yeah. I always wanted to be a part of it. And, I was lucky when I got to Impact. It was very quickly I realized that this is the place for me. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to stay. And I'm proud to be a flag bearer for the company, because the company has treated me so well, over years and years. Obviously, the past 6 years that I've been here, they've treated me great. They've given me great opportunities. And it's really helped me grow, not only inside the ring, but, as a person. As I'm getting older, it's really helped me grow.
Just for those who don't know Eddie's history, I believe the titles are you've been world champion twice, as recent as last year as well, which I hope you make it a third time. Yes. 5-time world tag team champion, 2-time X Division champion. You've won the World Cup of Wrestling twice. You're the 8th Triple Crown winner in Impact or TNA's history. You've won Match of the Year twice at the end of the season, end of the year awards, and you've won Tag Team of the Year, which I expected nothing less, to be honest. You've also won the I can't get it out, excuse me. Gravy Train Turkey Trot. Yes, that was a bit of a mouthful for me. And Gauntlet for the Gold tournament years ago. Would you like to see them come back? And if so, what else is there in Impact that Eddie Edwards can win?
It's kind of, match by match or situation by situation for what I want to do with my career. For Impact, I always want to be the world champion.
Hmm.
At the time I came to Impact with Davey, we wanted to be the tag team champions. We wanted to be the best tag team in the world, and I think we did, a pretty good job at trying to get there. For me, it's just I'm proud to, as I said, be the flag bearer, and I want to continue. It's not as much about, obviously I always want to be world champion. Everybody does. But I also want to be one of the guys or the guy that is associated with Impact Wrestling. I want to be the face of it. I want to be the guy, doing these podcasts and interviews. I take pride in this. So that's what I want to continue to do. And, hopefully the world title will be back in the picture. But until then, I just want to represent Impact Wrestling and represent Eddie Edwards the best I can.
And make everyone comfortable, not like Sammy Callahan, who made everyone uncomfortable that night.
Well, that's what Sammy does. Just by looking at him, you get a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, fair enough. It's funny enough, you've been mentioning the Wolves a lot. Obviously, Davey's not in TNA or Impact at this point in time. Would you love a Wolves reunion at some point if Davey Richards decided to come back for one night only? And who do you think has been the toughest tag team that both you and him have faced?
First, of course, I'd love to reunite the Wolves. It's something that I would be happy to do. It was never the reason why we went our separate ways was never because we didn't want to be a tag team. He was just, he's doing something else in his life, and I'm continuing on Impact. So I'd be more than happy to do that. I think it would be a great night for us to be able to get in there at least one more time, and tear it up with the tag team that's in Impact now, whoever it may be. I'd be happy to do that. I mean, as far as, most difficult tag teams to face, we came in to Impact and we were facing the Hardy Boys and we're going up against Team 3D and the Dudley Boys. So just because of the situation and the time that, we were doing it, it was when we were first at Impact. So we were being thrown into big matches, high profile matches. So those were, I'd say, the toughest because we had to go out there and we had to show that we belonged not only in Impact, but that we belonged in the ring with two of the greatest tag teams of all time. So those are, the toughest but most special moments of my career for sure.
And you definitely held your own against those two as well, when you could have easily crumbled under the pressure, like a lot of tag teams have.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy to do. You can get caught up in the spotlight, and you can sink when you're trying to swim. But the good ones go out there and they can perform when they need to.
Yeah. Now, your singles career has been even more eventful than your tag team career. You faced up-and-comers, legends, and future Hall of Famers. Which 5 men you faced would you say have been your toughest feuds? You can count Sammy if you want, because it feels like you two have literally been going at it hammer and tongue.
Yeah, I mean, me and Sammy, we're going to be linked together forever. And, I'm actually okay with that because, everything that me and Sammy have gone through, everything he's put me through and my family through, it's helped me become who I am. Who knows, without the baseball bat incident, who knows if I would be where I am in my career and where I am personally. So Sammy's definitely one of them. Bobby Lashley, when I came in and I won my first, world title from Bobby.
Yeah.
He an absolute beast, just an absolute animal. He's a machine out there, and so being able to go toe to toe with Bobby and be able to beat him for the world championship, that was quite the accomplishment for me. Over time, there's been so many guys, especially now. Like you look at the Impact roster.
There's a lot.
Any day of the week, you could be opening the show or you could be in the main event because that's how deep our roster goes. You guys look at guys like Ace Austin, who's really come up the ranks. Anybody. We have EY, Eric Young. Obviously, we have some history there. A guy that I love to go against because he's fun to beat up. It's hard to put out who is the toughest because I enjoy anybody that I get in the ring with because I enjoy having to mix up my styles, having to do different things when I go out there, and different opponents are going to bring out different things in me.
Now, it's funny you mentioned you and Sammy. I actually did have any questions. I think it's probably fairly safe to assume that I think you two are destined to fight each other well into when you two are old, fighting with Zimmer frames and chasing each other up using Stanner stair lifts. Would you say that's about as accurate a statement as you can get? And if you did want it to end, if it didn't end on Saturday, what match would you want to end it?
Man, I mean, we are destined to fight together. You know, people have, a few people have compared us like, the new age Tommy Dreamer and Raven, which is a
Yeah,
huge compliment to me and Sammy, obviously. I mean, it's hard to go any further or any deeper, any more insane than, the barbed wire massacre that we're doing this Saturday. I mean, if that doesn't end it, I don't know what will. It's going to be, maybe a duel with a gun duel. That's the only way that'll end because, we are destined to be together. But this Saturday, Saturday Night Hard to Kill.
yeah,
This is our This is our finale. This is the swan song. This is how we put it to rest. One way or another, it's going to be the end of me and Sammy, and it's going to be brutal, and it's going to be bloody, and it's going to be violent. But that's what we need to end this. There's no other way we can do this. You look at the history. There's no way we can go out there and have anything other than crazy, insane barbed wire massacre match.
I was actually gonna suggest a to pie death match if that failed.
Oh well, I mean, I'll keep that in mind for sure. But I'm hoping it ends on Saturday.
I hope it does as well, mate. I really do hope it does for you too. Now, obviously, at Hard to Kill, you faced Sammy in a barbed wire massacre match. Have you been watching old barbed wire massacre matches to get you in the mindset of actually being in that match?
Yeah, I've always, like I said, I've always been a fan, obviously. So I've watched the matches in the past. I've watched, EC stuff that's happened in ECW back in the day. I do try to watch as much as I can going into it to get ideas and mentally prepare for what's going to happen, because I know going into it, I'm going to get beat up. I'm going to get cut. I'm going to be battered and bruised. But that, that comes with the territory, and I'm okay with that. I'm looking forward to do something completely different than has been done in the past. You've seen the barbed wire massacres in the past. We're trying to do something a little bit different. I think people will see and agree that this Saturday, Hard to Kill, it will be something that they haven't seen before, with just different ideas and just a different setup for everything.
Yeah. I'm not going to go as far as to say, have you got a plan in mind for Sammy? But let's face it, you have. You're Eddie Edwards. You know how he thinks. You know how he breathes. You've done that for years. So the only thing I will say is, what will Eddie Edwards do differently in your mind this time to prevent the two-on-one disadvantage that you have with the Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock? And what will Eddie Edwards do differently in any method to avenge his loss at Bound for Glory?
I mean, this time, obviously, I wouldn't say I wasn't aware of Ken before, being involved, but obviously that's something that I have to keep in mind going into this. And more so, any match that I have, or a lot of people have, most people have, you go out there and you have to leave it all in the ring. Yeah. Because you don't want to second guess yourself. You don't want to tippy-toe around things. So that's when, injuries happen or screw-ups or whatever. So I'm prepared to just go out there, no fear, just leave it all out there, just go for broke, because, like we said, this is the end. This is what we've built up to. People could expect nothing else than us to just go out there and leave it all out there and see what comes out on the other end,
Yeah, well, I wish you best of luck with that, but also a bit of a vision of the future, because obviously last year we had Don Callis bring Kenny Omega into Impact, which has pretty much sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling business. So, and obviously it opens the door for potential matches, endless match possibilities. So if your opportunity arose, would you like to face Kenny? And if you did, what match would you choose for the match against him?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, shockwaves through the wrestling world, which is, it's hard to do in this day and age. So it's an exciting time for wrestling in general, for Impact and for AEW. I would love to face Kenny Omega with the history that he has, obviously now being world champion AEW, but also his history in Japan. I've spent my time in Japan. I was a champion in Japan. I would love to face Kenny, just a straight up match, give us 60 minutes to do whatever we need to do and go out there and see what happens, because he's obviously one of the best in the world today, ever. So I would love to just go toe-to-toe and see what happens, man.
You mentioned 60 minutes. Are you thinking a 60-minute Iron Man match?
Not necessarily Iron Man. I'm just saying give us at least 60 minutes as a block for time. And then
Mm.
if we need 59 minutes and 58 seconds,
Yeah.
so be it. If we go 60 minutes, so be it. But one fall to a finish, give us the time, and we'll go out there and see what we can create, you know?
That's fair enough. Now, you've worked with the company for 6 years. I have been watching the company for what feels like 15 years. I can't even remember the date I started because it's been that long. So we're going to do 2 sets of Dream 5v5. It's going to be male and female, so it'll be your team against mine. I have actually done this with Mr. Rothstein, so he knows how good my thinking is of this. So, so you're the guest, so you can go first. We'll start with the men, and you can have tag teams in this as well, if you wish.
You can. Okay.
You can.
And so am I going 5? You said.
Yep.
All right.
It'll be you and me, then you and me, etc., etc.
Okay.
If you were tag team, it'll be like 2 and 3, then straight back.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going Kurt Angle, my first pick.
Now, my first pick would be you and Davey, but I can't really do that to you. I can't.
Well,
I would love to, but I can't.
I mean, rules is rules. Hey, what can I say?
So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick the most decorated tag team in professional wrestling history. Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys.
That's a very good pick. I was contemplating that as well. I'm not going to be the one I'm not going to put myself on the team. So I'm going to put myself out of this. Myself and Davey. I can't let my heart get involved. Okay. So I'm going to have to follow that with the Hardy Boys.
Fair enough, then. Now, I'm going to pick somebody who we've already talked about him and you know him very well. So I'm going to go with the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Oof. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let's see. So many choices. This is a tough one.
It is.
Because especially with the history, history. It's we go Lashley. I'm going to go AJ Styles.
Oh, nice choice, sir. Very nice choice. But you see, the one thing I do know, Eddie, is I know a lot of your rivalries. So my last 2 picks, providing it's all right with you, is going to be your arch nemesis, Sami Callihan, and the Impact Hall of Famer, Ken Shamrock. I have to, mate.
Well, yeah, I get, that's understandable. But, you go Sammy, and then that makes me want to put me in it. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. That's okay.
Ooh, I thought I'd tempt you with that.
Tempted. But I will go with our world champion, Rich Swann. He has a great history with Sami Callihan, especially.
He does.
So I go with Rich. And, I guess I was going to let my heart decide my wife, but I'm going to keep my wife out of it now.
Fair enough.
We just we have to. I will go with the Hall of Famer, Gail Kim, on my team. Bring it in.
And now to counter that, I will give you the most destructive knockout that has ever come into Impact or TNA. And you know who I mean. The deadliest one of them all, Awesome Kong.
That's very good choice. That is very good.
I watch and I learn, sir. It's the advantage of being a gamer.
Well done. Was that 5? Are we 5 and 5?
Yeah, I think it was 5 men, and now we're onto the ladies. So you've got 4 picks, and I've got 4 picks.
Okay. I will go with. I'll go with Rosemary.
Ooh.
Rosemary, yes, she is. Yes, that's a solid pick right there.
That is a very good one. Now, I'm going to pick, hopefully, fingers crossed, one half of the future Knockout Tag Team Champions, Jessica Havoc.
Ooh, all right. I will counteract that.
The pressure is on, sir. What will you do?
Let's see here. Who? She hasn't spent a ton of time with Impact, but Jazz, world class. You may not think of it because it's been recent, so
yep,
I'm throwing Jazz in there.
I remember that lady from her olden days, and she was as vicious as she can be. So,
yes.
Now I am not going to let this lady slip through my fingers twice, as she did last time. So with that, the current Impact Knockouts champion, the lovely Deonna Purrazzo. I do all of that because I did interview her last year, and she's absolutely lovely person. I cannot say or speak any highly of her than I already have. And,
well, she was definitely putting on a good act, because I'm playing.
she probably was as well.
I'm playing. So wait, do I have one more? Right?
I think you've got 3 more, I think.
3 more? Wait, I did Gail, I did Rosemary, I did
Rosemary.
Jazz.
And Jazz, yeah. So you've got 2 more, and I've got 2 more.
All right, I am going to go to counteract Deonna. I'll go with Jordan Grace.
Oh, I wanted her as well. Oh, Eddie, you have crushed me.
I could sense it.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Actually, I'm going to do what I did last time I did this, and I am going to select probably the greatest knockout tag team to never hold together the knockout tag team titles. So I will go with Velvet Sky and Angelina Love, the beautiful people. So you got your last one, sir.
Well, I said I was going to go with my heart, but this is going with my heart and my mind, and I'm throwing my own rules out. I'm going with my wife to save the best for last, Alicia Edwards. She'll bring it home for me. That's all. Boom, walk off. That's mic drop on the Alicia Edwards.
Fair enough. Is she actually there, and was she staring laser eyes for you? It's like, if you don't pick me, that's it.
No, yeah, she just sent me a threatening text message. So.
Oh dear, no, you definitely don't want to get on your wife's bad side.
Yeah, that's it.
So Eddie, it has been an absolute joy, and I will hold you to if we're ever a host short, and I'll give you a buzz. So, ladies and gentlemen, future Impact Hall of Famer, one half of the Wolves, Eddie Edwards.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it, and I look forward to being back.
Sir, the honor is mine.